Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Selena. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, it would mean so much to me if you can subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, that way you don't miss out on any future videos. So today, if you want to see how I got this look using the Morphe 3502 palette, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I already have my left eye done, and I will be showing you guys how to do the right side. So to start off, I will be using my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I am loving this primer, and I just put this all over my lids like so. So then, now I will be using my Morphe 3502 palette, and excuse the palette, there's a whole bunch of fingerprints on there. So what I do is I find a matte shadow and I use that color to set my lids, and the lightest matte shade in here is the first one right here, and it's called Universal, and I take that and I just put that all over my lid. I normally use the cream white shade, but there is none, so this is the closest one to my skin tone, so that's why I chose this color. Alright, so now that I have my primer set, I will be using my blending brush, and I am starting off by going in with the third shade. It's called ORB. It's that shade right there, and I am taking that and putting that in my crease. And I'm just using a mirror from another palette because there is no mirror in this palette. And then the next shade that I used is called Brick. It's the shade right here. And I use that in my crease just to give it a little bit more depth. I love going in with a whole bunch of matte shades just to give my eyes depth and just to transition all my shadows. I think it's really beautiful. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Ablaze right here. And it's another matte shadow, and I'm just going to blend that in my crease as well, and it comes up very pigmented. So I'm going for just like a fiery kind of look to show you guys what kind of look you can get with these oranges and reds. Now what I'm doing next is I am going to be taking my Morphe M330 brush, and it's a little bit more tapered, and it just pushes the shadow like right where you want it. So it just, the other brush that I use, it just, you know, it makes all the shadow blend everywhere, but this one is just a little bit more precise, I think. So I'm going in with the shade Fire. And it's this red shade in the palette. It's super gorgeous. And I'm going in with Fire on my outer V is where I'm going to be focusing it on. And it's not as scary as it looks. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do my brow bone highlight. I am going to be using the shade Pure, and it is the white shimmer shade in here. And I'm using that for my brow bone highlight. And I'll be using that for my inner corner highlight as well. Alright, so now I'm going on to my lids. I am going to be taking the shade called Sauce, and it is the orange shade in the palette. Where's my brush I use for my lids? Okay, so I use my Real Techniques shading brush like I always do, and that's the orange shade right here in the palette and the orange shimmer. And I am taking that and just putting that all over my lids, and I will have to use Max Fix Plus because it's not pigmented enough to use on its own, in my opinion anyways. It might just have a little bit of the wetness from my other eye, but I go in this like 2 or 3 times, and then I take Max Fix Plus and I spray it. Sorry, I take some of the shadow and I just spray it like so. And I put that all over my lids. Alright, so now for my inner corner highlight, I take that white shimmer shade called Pure, and I am putting that in my inner corners. Just like that. And then for my lower lash line, I'm taking the red Fire shade and I am putting that under there. And then when I'm done with everything, I just go back in with my blending brush and I just blend everything back together. Like so. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face and I will show you guys the final look. Alright guys, so now that you've seen how I got this look, I want to give you guys my final thoughts on the palette and let you guys know what I really think about it. So when you get the 3502 palette, it comes in a box like this, and the bag looks like this. So Morphe has recently changed their logo, and so I have an old palette and I have the new palette. The old palette used to look like this, and the new palette now looks like this. So they've changed their logo, and on the back of the old one, it doesn't have anything. It just has the little sticker on the bottom of which palette it is. And the new palette, it actually does give you guys where it was made, and there are no ingredients on here. It just has their website on the back. So that's what it looks like, and the sticker looks kind of different. So that's just a little bit of the small differences between the two. So when you open it up, it's still got the cheap packaging and the package where it gets very, very messy with fingerprints. But they do now have the shade names on a clear sleeve. I just keep mine right here. I might throw mine away because I don't like the way it looks on here. But when you open up the 3502 palette, it looks like this. I do not have the original. I was into makeup when it first released, so when I saw this palette, I just fell in love with the shades, and after hearing all the amazing reviews, I knew that I had to get this palette. So I got this palette about a month ago, and I've been using it, and I wanted to get some different looks, and I wanted to test out the formula because I'm kind of new to Morphe. I do have the Jaclyn Hill palette. It's my favorite palette of all time. But I wanted to just test it out. And so my thoughts on this palette is I got this palette because I love this orange shade right here and I love the red shade. So if you take out the 5 shades on this row, it's just all browns and purple shades. That's it. What sold me was the orange and reds. And I have all these neutral colors in other palettes, but I think that this is worth $23 because you can do many different looks. I've done looks with this red look, of course. I've used this look to do a purple look, and I've also used this palette to do a brown neutral look. And I get so many different kind of looks with this palette. But my thoughts on the quality, I don't think it's that great. I mean, I've used Lorac, Anastasia, Too Faced, and those are amazing palettes that I've used. And Morphe is made in China, so maybe that's why, but it's not that pigmented. Like when I use this, these shades, I have to use Fix Plus, like for my lids. And I also feel like when you put the shadows on your eyes, that they do like come off during the day. And I don't notice that with like any of my other shadows that I've used from other brands, but with Morphe, I feel like it just comes off during the day. So I mean, I think it's worth the money. It's very affordable and you get 35 colors. But it's not the best formula. But it's a very good formula. It's very affordable, and I think it's worth it because I can do many different looks, and if you have to touch up or you want to touch up, then you can. But I definitely do like this palette. I think these shades are gorgeous, and I do recommend this palette, especially if you're on a budget and you love Morphe or you're looking for some palettes or just one palette to have. You do get 35 shadows, like I said, and I think that it's worth the money. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys like this tutorial, and if you guys want to see any more looks using this palette, just comment down below. And if you're new to my channel, it would mean so much to me if you can subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!